I wanted to make a video sharing my thoughts on the beta handling cars that were introduced with the Hotshot DLC. This update brought quite a few improvements to the handling physics. Stuff like the RB13 Alpha GP and a globally improved steering and tyre model for Rallycross. The beta handling cars are an alternative version of the M2, F-Type SVR and C63 AMG. And these are labelled as having an improved steering and tyre model that I assume they're looking to roll out globally, like the Rallycross, but curiously wanted some feedback on before they did. So I'm more than happy to offer my humble opinion, and if the developers actually see this, then I hope it's of value. The first thing I wrote in my notes after driving the Beta M2 for the first time was subtle improvement, right? The differences are noticeable, but it's not a striking departure from the base handling. Straight out of the box, you notice the improvement to balance and how the car transitions from like understeer to oversteer seems more sophisticated, which we think gives you more confidence to know what the car's doing and what it's likely to do next. And this was something the base handling really suffered from, these weird moments when the car would snap or suddenly grip up and send you flying across the road unable to react quick enough, which just resulted in frustration for me. So after several days of driving around, I can say I'm a big fan of the changes, but there's still some issues. Now, the Crew 2 leans towards a more casual or arcade fan base, which I totally respect, but that doesn't mean to say the handling shouldn't have levels of complexity. And in fact, in some regards, it actually does. I mean, go from the M2 to the GT3 RS, and you can't help but notice the differences between a front-engined and a rear-engined car. It's these nuances that gives a driving game so much depth. In my opinion, the biggest issue with the road car physics, both current and beta, stems from the wheel spin model. When the car is at or near its limits and how it acts when ESP and traction are turned off. Now, I don't want this to seem like some I'm all about drifting stance, right? It's more about the freedom to balance and work with the car at or near these limits, which then, for me at least, translates to a more rewarding driving experience. And it just feels like you're not given full control over the car during these moments when the wheels are actually spinning. I mean, turn TC and ESP off and try to do a full donut in any car and you'll understand my point. The game lets you get to a certain point and then shuts you down. The beta handling gives you a little more granular control over the car up to this point, but it's that last 10%, that final step, that final refinement, which would complete the handling, in my opinion. You know, the planes are great, the boats are great, and I even enjoy racing the street bikes. So I hope the development team will continue to make improvements, because I honestly think they're really close to offering a great driving experience. An experience that, coupled with everything else, the map, the range of events, could easily become one of my favourite games of all time.